think of, what must go through the minds of these people.
All right. Okay. Let's turn this down. Hello there, camera. There we go. As you can see, I'm looking fantastic. I'm feeling fantastic. Had some good coffee. Anyways, I'm your host today, Crafty Andy, observing the fellow humans of the world, at least until Michael Ringtail gets his shit together and, gets a decent facelift. Whatever comes first. As you can see, you can always check me out at the main channel here, Crafty Arts. Obviously, the channel here, WeirdZoRs. And then if you want to hang out and chill, we got some game streams and art streams on Rotten Egg Creations here. So with that out of the way, let's get into sex education on Conservapedia. Yes, everyone's favorite website to go for information, Conservapedia. I just thought this was interesting because it's connected to the Michigan story I got. Let's see, where it goes to abstinence only. It should be noted that while teens can benefit from abstinence-only sex ed in school, prudent parents... Oh, should send out my link. There we go. And Facebook. There we go. Where were we here? Alright, so it should be noted that while teens can benefit from abstinence-only sex ed in school, prudent parents may still want to take the precaution of informing their children of basic contraception. No matter how strong the will to resist one's physical urges, it cannot be denied that some children will inevitably give in to their desires, and that they ought to know how to prevent unplanned pregnancy in its eventuality. So I just find it interesting that even something along the lines of Conservapedia goes out of its way to tell you that it's important to teach your kids about contraception. Not according to this bitch, though. Not according to this bitch. And this bitch is... Oh, wait, I have the link. I don't know why I'm so used to having to look shit up. There we go. MAGA Michigan candidate wants to ban all contraception. And I don't think this picture represents her as well as this one does right here. A Gen Z zealot running for state office in Michigan vows to make contraception illegal, insisting God's morality is for everybody, whether you like it or not. You gotta love it. You gotta love these new wave of cringy, religious pieces of shit. It's amazing. And look at that face. She is straining to keep those eyes open. She is straining that smile right there. Holy shit. And just to think, she's 25. She's 10 years younger than me, and she looks as old as I do. Oh, we're not supposed to make fun of people's looks. Fuck it, she deserves it. Look at that face. Look at that evil fucking face. All this talk of abortion. Have you ever thought of adorpion? I love how this person's just like practically sleeping into the comfort of this t-shirt of adorpion. I hope this got sold. I hope someone's walking around with this t-shirt still not realizing how fucked it is. I want to see if there's any information on this woman here. Trump-endorsed Michigan State House candidate Jackie Eubanks is against all forms of contraception and says she's a yes if banning birth control pills comes up for vote in the chamber. Holy shit, man. Ah, yes. My religion says I can't do that. Okay. My religion says you can't do that. Fuck off. I like that comment. What a great comment. Is there a good woman on this bitch?
You're a faithful Catholic, meaning you believe everything?
So, are you a faithful Catholic? What part of the Bible says thou shalt bleach thy hair? To absurd levels.
The church teaches?
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So you are, you see that the use of contraception is against...
What is with that face?
Contraception is against natural moral law. See that...
Why does she look so worried? Dude, you can calm down a little bit.
The use of contraception is against natural moral law.
I know this guy looks like... Maybe it is the blonde hair. Maybe his hair is like so bleached, it's freaking her the fuck out right now. She wants to say that, like, that's against God's plan too.
As destructive, a doorway to abortion, blah, blah, and all that and everything else. See the whole, everything going on with Roe, for example, right now, and all the left, becoming completely uncorked, losing their minds. The question, they're saying they're coming after your gay marriage next. They're coming after your birth control after that and everything else. Well, you know what? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. So we need to make a plain statement of fact, which is the reason why the West is great is because Western civilization's underpinning is Christianity. You cannot have a successful society outside of the Christian moral order.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What about Japan? What about China? What about Iceland? What about most of Europe at this point. Sure, some of them are Muslims, but it's not Christian. They still have some order in their society. Holy shit, man. How does this person live?
And things like abortion and things like gay marriage are outside of the Christian moral order.
Fuck the moral order. Fuck the moral order. Moral order. There you go. Say it 20 times fast. Moral order. Fuck morals. Morals are completely bullshit. They are made up. Like the boogeyman. You want something that's tangible and real? Look at ethics. Ethics are pretty fucking simple and scientific too. Ethics works in the matter of, does X harm? Does X benefit? Or does it harm? Is it beneficial? Or is it neutral? That's it. That's all you gotta break it down. And that's all it takes. You gotta figure that out. Is gay marriage harming anyone? No. Is it benefiting people? Yes. Therefore, it's okay. Now, fuck off and die.
And they lead to chaos and destruction and a culture of death, which is why we're seeing.
That's why there's so many more suicides today than there were in the 1900s when we were more Christian, right? While this bitch rambles on, let me just look up some actual historical fact here.
That today. We have abandoned the Christian moral order as a nation, and we are reaping that destruction.
How do you answer the local press person who might be your age and just sees you as some loony that she wants to take away your birth control?
Well,
in the state of Michigan.
Sure. So I guess we have to ask ourselves, would that ever come to a vote in the Michigan State Legislature? And if it should, I would have to side with it should not be legal. And I think that people believe that birth control is it's better, like you said, because, oh, then you won't get pregnant and you won't need to have an abortion. But I think that it gives people the false sense of security that they can have consequence-free sex, and that's not true.
Well, just because you don't fucking like sex doesn't mean no one else is supposed to like sex, you dumb bitch. God, fuck, man. When can we make it legal to just kill people like this?
True, and it's not.
Or at least commit them, you know? They need help. This person is mentally ill.
Correct. Sex ought to be between one man and one woman in the confines of marriage.
And open to life.
And open to life, absolutely.
Fuck me. Let's
Absolutely.
see the comments on this
You're
video. Unlisted. Ooh. Okay, never mind. Not gonna be anything there. Because you want to be on the website. You can't enter heaven unless Jesus enters you. Let he who hasn't raw dogged a porn star just after the birth of his 5th child with his 3rd wife cast the first stone. I like this, my Jesus. My mother was a virgin when she gave birth to me. Oh, too. That's why 3 random dudes showed up at your door with gifts, huh? Fuck you. Not today, Jesus. Meg Pence, I demand religious freedom to force my religious beliefs on you. So I thought that was fun. Dumb psychotic bitch. Let's see, what's her fucking story, huh? I wonder what her story is. I bet she struggled all her life. Oh, okay. State rep, volunteering, spending time with our veterans. Alright, we're gonna get rid of the ads here. Where are we here?
Speaking of the fascism that is coming, here is a candidate for the Michigan State House. And, you know, there was...
Yeah, we already got my
Abortion,
commentary.
blah, blah.
We're good. We're good. Holy shit, what a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare, though.
Jackie Eubanks is like the rock star of Macomb County, and she's
Spending time with veterans, but won't be spending time endorsing the idea of universal health care for everybody, right? Or getting, you know, mental health for veterans or anything like that. Just encourage more birth rates.
My heart, considerate my family's home. So, yeah, awesome, very cool.
Yeah. She wants more live babies. So they can grow up to be dead soldiers. Fuck her. Fuck this dumb bitch. What next is on my docket here? Oh yeah, we already got that. Ohio introduces Don't Say Gay bill. Heard about that already. What was the next thing we got with Ohio? Alright, HB 454, banning affirming healthcare for minors in Ohio. Because that's what Ohio does. Ohio does what Ohio does. That's fucking Ohio for you. Gender-affirming medical care is recommended for transgender youth by the American Academy of Pediatricians and the Endocrine Society, and is viewed by the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry and the American Psychiatric Association as evidence-based patient care. But this bill coming up wants to ban it. I want to know what's the language of this bill here. Let's see. Issue a letter to all state attorneys generals reminding them of federal constitutional and statutory provisions that protect transgender youth against discrimination, including when these youth seek gender-affirming care. I love how we have all these states just bullying the small population of trans people that exists. I mean, god fucking damn it. So yeah, we got a bill coming out to ban all trans-affirming care for minors. That's brilliant. Just brilliant. Let's see what else we got here. Arkansas passes bill to ban gender-affirming care for trans youth. So, okay, so Arkansas is already ahead of the ball here. That's right, forgot about that. So, yeah, I just don't get it. Well, I do get it. It's just another fucking way so politicians can say, we did a thing, please their constituents, their supporters. All the while, minorities like trans people and queers like me, we just are pawns in their fucking game. In the grand scheme of things, I have to face the reality whether I'm allowed to stay married or not. Doesn't affect the budgets. Doesn't affect the country's military industrial complex. It's just something that gets the voter base all riled up. And that's all that matters. Even though the majority of the country supports my marriage existing, the majority of the country supports abortion. And, you know, as far as abortion goes, what is it? Most people would abort a baby with Down syndrome. Okay. Dude, there's a good percentage here. I just want to get the percentage again. A reliable data is scarce. The best calculations suggest that 67% of U.S. pregnancies where it is suggested the baby would be born with Down syndrome and an abortion. Huh. Huh. Interesting. So, regardless of what the statistics are on people who are in support of abortion, it's amazing that there is a selective bunch right here. There we go. All expecting mothers choose to take the test. If of those who get a Down syndrome diagnosis, more than 95% choose to abort. 95%. So even though the support of abortion is around like 60, somewhere around there, 70% country-wise, 95% of those pregnancies involving Down syndrome babies end in abortion. Interesting. It's almost like people who are against abortion kind of change their mind when it comes to the idea of having to raise a disabled person for their entire life. Also doesn't help that there isn't a real safety net to help these people around when it comes to medical costs. And in the grand scheme of things... Oh, welcome back, The White Noise. Was adopted, but yeah, you're right. In the grand scheme of things, these might as well be non-issues. Exactly. They should just be personal choices in the matter, right? That's what kills me. It's like the trans ban for military. It didn't do anything for the military budget. It harmed maybe, I don't know the numbers, maybe like 100 people that were in the military at the time. It doesn't matter if it's 100 or a million or 1,000. The point is, there wasn't enough to affect anything. And it just becomes something that you have to fight for, like my marriage, for instance. It's the frustrating stance of like, hey, I want to be able to be married. It has a lot of benefits in terms of taxes, in terms of inheritance, that sort of thing, control. I have a say in terms of when it comes to medical decisions, when it comes to financial decisions. I hate to say it, I hate when it comes down to thinking about like what it comes to our end, when we start losing our cognitive functions. But there's so many stories of gay couples where one dies and the family that you didn't know you had all of a sudden comes out of the woodwork and starts taking everything. Okay. And that's the other thing, too. You don't know if a person really is trans or not if they're serving in the military sometimes, too. They could just be holding out, you know, getting their funds together so they can transition. 15,000 transgender service members to be enlisted on active duty in the reserves and the National Guard. 134,000 are veterans or retired from the armed forces. In 2014 study. So yeah, we harm all those people, but you know what? It makes it look good for the Republicans to do that, though. So it helps them. And like what? I think it was Idaho that banned trans kids from participating in sports, and there was one trans girl participating in sports that got banned. Essentially, it's just like the entire state's bullying her. It's insane. What's next on the docket here? Do. Oh yeah, we got her. Let's see. We're going through her interview. Yep. So I thought this was interesting. So Texas is set to ban 850 books in total from its curriculum, based on ideas that it might contain critical race theory or anything regarding trans people or gay people in general. And what was one of the books here I thought was? The books that aren't on the list. The trouble with making an 850 book list of titles to challenge is that it looks comprehensive. One would assume that it covers everything you want it to do. So it's interesting to look at the books that aren't on the list. Probably the strangest example is The Dying to Live, Elite Operatives number 4, an adult lesbian adventure romance series is on the list, but just volume 4. So are all the other books in the series allowed? And more importantly, are adult romance novels okay in general, but just not this one? Of course, The Hunger Games isn't listed, neither is Battle Royale. After all, stories about kids killing each other doesn't cause students discomfort, but a book that mentions a character's gay uncle is apparently scarring. I just thought that was a funny oversight. And you got fucking right-wingers birding books, too. I love this. Right-wing book burning rally. It doesn't take long to find it. Do. Unrest in Sweden over Quran burnings. Oh, that's a different story. Yeah, we can skip over the young turds here. Alright. Yeah, so they're having a fucking book burning here. In Tennessee. Of course Tennessee. I won't be surprised to see this out fucking Ohio eventually. Look at that fucking flame. I just burned the Bible. Hail Satan. Praise Satan! I love this guy already. Woohoo! Get the fuck out! Time to run! I love it. What a bunch of fascists. We're gonna burn the fucking books. I don't know what's in this book, and I'm gonna make sure no one else figures out what's in this book. Ben Shapiro told me to burn it. So I'm gonna burn it. Burn the books.
Throw the Bible in there. I mean it.
Burn the books. I got one of the Brennan books in the mail though too. So yeah, this was banned from a bunch of schools as well because of some swearing. It contains words like "damn," even though it's about the Holocaust. Yeah, it's about the Holocaust and contains words like "damn." And there's a scene where the main character's grandmother slits her wrist and she's naked in the bathtub. And I don't know if you've seen any mouse titties. I didn't get to that part in the book yet. I'm trying to read it on my own. But apparently that was enough for it to be banned from some schools. I love it. I love these people that talk about cancel culture and wokeism, ruining everything, and getting rid of all the books, and then yet here they are burning fucking books. Oh man, the contradictions run rampant. Oh yeah. Let's see here. One of the books being banned is called It's Perfectly Normal: Changing Bodies, Growing Up, Sex, Gender, and Sexual Health. First published in 1994. With updates to content over the course of its lifetime. Okay, that makes sense. Expanding topics related to LGBTQ to queer experiences when it comes to gender and sexuality. So the idea here is that telling people that gay people exist and that trans people exist makes them trans, makes them gay. Like somehow you can convert people. Which, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. If you are gay, if you are trans, you're going to start coming to that conclusion whether you know the words for it or not. Around elementary school age. Plenty of people, if you talk to, even myself, bisexuality, I can trace that back to my adolescence when I was in the 2nd, 3rd grade. You know, I had these interests and tendencies and thoughts and experiences. And I knew I was feeling different, and I definitely knew I was different when I started developing in puberty. And my desires, my fantasies evolved to different aspects. But, you know, I could just ignore the bisexuality part of myself. It became an internal fight that I would have for the next 20 years. Because one day, the church decided to do an entire sermon on how homosexuality was wrong, that it will lead to disease, premature death, predatory behavior. And so, even without telling anyone, I thought to myself, oh shit. Because of my gay experiences when I was younger and my gay thoughts, I'm in trouble. I'm committing a sin. It creates a doom loop in your head. You can't think of gay thoughts because those are a sin and will lead you to hell, which causes you to think of gay thoughts, which is a sin and will lead you to hell, which causes you to feel guilt, which causes you to think of those thoughts again, and it just continues on and on and on. And this went on for a good 12 years in my life from then on. When I hit 10 years old, all the way up until 22, when I just said, fuck it. I'm going to accept myself. And I still believe in God at that time, too. I just figured God would have to make an exception for me. Or, he would understand, because he's all understanding, right? Wouldn't matter what anyone else says. And then I found out God was a lie, and that put me on the course of a whole other bitter feeling towards religion. My hate boner has not gone away for religion, and it'll never go away. No matter how much I stroke my hate boner for religion, it will never go off. Maybe when I'm 80. Give it another 50 years. So Bill Maher. Bill Maher. I have to go over my experience with Bill Maher. So I grew up with Bill Maher. I didn't watch his show, Politically Incorrect, but I started coming across clips of his show on HBO, on YouTube, where he would dog against religion, against Fox News, against any kind of right-wing media, and he would also criticize the Democrats, too, because, I mean, the Democrats are pretty much the same as Republicans in a lot of things. But now, all of a sudden, because he's gotten older and his audience has gotten older, he started to do this whole grift of, let's cater to the right wing. What's with all this black and gay shit all of a sudden? Whoa, this is too far. This is too far, guys. So now he comes out with this fucking video where he's suggesting that, once again, children are being indoctrinated by left-wing ideology, I guess? But anyways, let's bring him up. Bring up his shit.
And finally, new rule: if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way.
Yes.
2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z.
Jeez, it's almost like as we get more accepting of people who are different, people feel more comfortable identifying as something that's different than cis, white, straight. Give me a fucking break. What is this leading into? I wonder.
Which means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054.
Oh, I hope so. Give me a fucking break, man.
And then who's going to buy this chair?
I don't get it. Someone who wants a chair that's a recliner with a cup holder. I don't get the joke, Bill. Are you suggesting that the chair is like straight for straighties, for straight people? I don't understand.
I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that?
It's simple. More people are more accepting.
All the babies are in the wrong bodies?
No.
Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with...
It said queer, not trans. The fuck? Self-identify as LGBTQ. It said queer in general. It's a general, not trans. What do you mean? All the babies are in the wrong bodies.
Ask, what's up with that?
I mean, we're gonna get killed for this
All
bullshit.
the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops, All Berries?
What?
It wasn't that long ago when adults asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They meant what profession?
They still do. No one's asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? What teacher's asking that? What do you want to be? You want to be straight? You want to be gay? You want to be bi? You want to be trans? Pick one. Yeah, it's like it's a fucking character creation screen. Fuck off, Bill. Eat a bag of dicks.
In the wake of America about to lose abortion rights, the ACLU recently tweeted a list of those who would be disproportionately harmed by this. You would think women might top that list? No, wasn't even on the list. Second on the...
Wait, who said this?
Women, those who would be abortion rights, the ACLU recently...
Oh, the ACLU,
You
okay.
would think women might top that list? No,
Let's
wasn't even on
find
the
out.
list. Second on the list was LGBT. Really? Abortion rights
Wait,
affects...
who was on the second?
Second on the list was...
Wait, that was
top
second.
that list? No, wasn't even on the list. Second on the list was LGBT. Really? Abortion rights affects gay and trans people more than, you know, breeders?
What list? It does affect people like me, because eventually that's just another right being chipped away. What fucking list? You got a link? What list? I'm looking at the fucking ACLU. I'm looking for it. Let's see. ACLU, Roe v. Wade, effects. I don't know. List effects. Abortion care for us all. Trans people's right to live freely. People's right to vote. Our critical freedoms are at stake. We need you with us. Donate. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, it's a donation. There's an article about it. 6 ways to join the fight for abortion rights. Perhaps the most pressing civil liberties issue of our time. What you can do. Prisoners' rights, women's rights, smart justice. I see. What is this? The list? I mean, there's women's rights right there. So it's already spawned copycat bills in other states. So in other words, I think Bill Lawrence is pulling shit out of his ass.
I'm happy for LGBT folks that we now live in an age where they can live their authentic lives openly. And we should always be mindful of respecting and protecting.
Nope.
But someone needs to say it. Not everything's about you.
Okay, I guess it's not about me, so I'll just let Roe v. Wade go. I won't have anything to say about it. All the women being affected by it, I mean, hey, it doesn't apply to me. Don't plan on getting any abortions. Can't get pregnant. I am a male. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. Alright, you're right. It's not about me, so, yeah, we'll just let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're overturning Roe v. Wade. Hey, it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you. Whatever the fuck that means.
And it's okay to ask questions about something that's very new and involves children. The answer can't always be that anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right, trump card, mic drop, end of discussion. Because we're literally experimenting on children. Maybe that's why Sweden and Finland have stopped giving puberty blockers to kids. Because we...
Oh yeah? Let's see why. We mean stopped. Like, did they ban it? Did they forbid it? Well, Patriot Daily Press pie doesn't sound pretty, doesn't sound too, biased at all.
just don't know much about the long-term effects, although common sense should tell you that when you reverse the course of raging hormones...
You don't reverse the course with puberty blockers. You stop them from happening, you dumb fuck. That's how they work. It's not reversing the course.
There's going to be problems. We do know it hinders the development of bone density, which is kind of important if you like having a skeleton.
What is this? The Times? Okay, just the Times. All right. Here's the thing. Every medication is going to have fucking side effects. That's Christian Post. Nope, nope. Ain't relying on that. Come on. Bias. Bullshit. Living Eternal. Daily Mail. Found no psychological issues, but height and bone density growth was inhibited. Small study from a controversial gender clinic run by the NHS. It's found as it finally publishes its data. The drugs known as fuck your shit. Researchers from... Alright. Released in... Okay. Gonadotropin, releasing hormone, are given to children suffering with gender dysphoria and who wish to switch from their biological sex to a gender of their choosing, or what they actually are. Yeah. Where's the push against fucking fentanyl or all these other opioids that are extremely addictive and destructive to people's lives? Where here you have basic... As far as I'm concerned, basic side effects or potential side effects for taking this medication. I mean, that's why you have parents involved with these children to make these decisions in the first place. No one's asking a 12-year-old, are you ready? Are you ready to take the puberty blockers? Okay. I'm not going to tell you any of the potential side effects. And here's the thing, too, is that a lot of new medications, when they come out, sometimes the side effects are not entirely known. And so are we just not to do anything? Because we don't know? I mean, if we did that, then we wouldn't have any medication at all. We would be able to figure out, like, oh, how much aspirin you can take, or how much any medication you could take. Again, fucking pain relievers, painkillers. I didn't see any fucking push to get those banned or removed. Oh my god. Fuck. Fuck your advertisement.
The ability to have an orgasm seem also to be affected. This isn't just a lifestyle decision, it's medical. Weighing trade-offs is not bigotry. Yet,
when it comes to banning them entirely, yeah, it kind of is. When you don't give someone the fucking choice, give me a fucking
when a
break.
book questioning the sudden uptick in transitioning children was released, a trans lawyer with the ACLU named Chase Strangio tweeted, "Stopping the circulation of this book and these ideas is 100% a hill I will die on." How very civil liberties of him. Chase, by the way, has just been named one of
I don't understand.
an uptick in transitioning children.
Transgender craze seducing our daughters.
Was released, a trans lawyer with the ACLU named Chase Strangio tweeted, "Stopping the circulation of this book and these ideas is 100% a hill I will die on." How very civil liberties of him. Chase, by the way, has just been named one of the grand marshals of this year's New York City Pride March, along with 3 other trans people and a lesbian. Huh, what's missing here? Oh, right, a gay man. That's where we are now. Gay men aren't hip enough for the gay pride parade.
Who said that gay men weren't allowed to be part of it? I don't understand.
Compared to trans, gay is practically cis, and cis is practically Mormon.
Once again, we're going down this road of we went too far! Went too far! We're too accepting. Time to roll it back. Someone elect Hitler. Put Hitler in power.
And this is a phenomenon we need to take into account when we look at this issue. Yes, part of the rise in LGBT numbers is from people feeling free enough to tell it to a pollster, and that's all to the good. But some of it is, it's trendy.
No, it's not. Oh my god, he's going the fucking trans trender route? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, so when I was in school in 2004, or my sister and then my brother after me, everyone else I know, right? It's all of a sudden hip and cool to be a trans person.
This equals man? Okay, boomer. Remember, the prime directive of every teen is anything to shock and challenge the squares who brought you up.
Yes, and then there's going to be pretending to be trans to the point where they get medication and surgery for it, right? It's going to be up there and be like, oh shit, that was just a trend. That was just a phase I was in.
It's why nobody gets a nose ring at 56.
You can get a nose ring at 56. Who says you can't? Fucking do it. I want to see more like that. Yeah, fucking do it. Anyone who's in their 50s, fucking go out there and get a nose ring.
And if you haven't noticed that with kids, doing something for the likes is more important than their own genitals, you haven't been paying attention. Dr. Erica Anderson is a prominent 71-year-old clinical psychologist who is herself transgender and who now says, I think it's gone too far.
Yeah. What do you mean it's
LA
gone too
Times
far?
Summarizes, she's come to believe that some children identifying as trans are falling under the influence of their peers and social
Bullshit.
media. If you attend a small dinner party of typically very liberal, upper-income men,
Yeah, there's a reason why you have to go to a psychologist to even get this diagnosed and everything, right?
it is not uncommon to hear parents who each have a trans kid having a conversation about that. What are the odds of that happening in Youngstown, Ohio? If this spike in trans children is all natural, why is it regional?
Because one state's more accepting than the other, you dumb fuck.
Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them.
I can't
It's
fucking
like
believe
that
this
day
shit.
we suddenly all needed bottled water all the time. If we can't admit that in certain enclaves there is some level of trendiness to the idea of being anything other than straight, then this is not a serious science-based discussion. It's a blow being struck in the culture wars using children as cannon fodder. I don't understand parents who won't let their 9-year-old walk to the corner without a helmet, an EpiPen, and a GPS tracker. And God forbid their lips touch dairy, but... But hormone blockers and genital surgery, fine.
No one's doing genital surgery on children, you fuckwit. It makes no sense. You're still developing, you're still growing. No one would ever fucking do that. Holy shit. How much does he make every fucking year? How much is he getting paid to spout this fucking bullshit?
Talk about a nut allergy.
Wow, man.
I guess penises are gross now, but one might come in handy later on. And if you're a man who wants to experience life without a pair of balls, you do not have to get surgery. You can get married. I kid. Oh, we joke.
140 million bucks.
And never forget, children are impressionable and very, very...
$10 million a year to spout this stupid shit.
Very stupid. Kids don't know why mom drinks every day or why dad has 2 cell phones. Maybe the boy who thinks he's a girl is just gay. Or whatever Frasier was.
Not fucking amused. Not amused.
Maybe the girl who hates girly stuff just needs to learn that being female doesn't mean you have to act like a Kardashian.
I swear to God, this is like fucking 2010, 2015 all over again. This is fucking... You're 7 years too late, Bill. You're 7 years behind. This whole fucking transgender bullshit. You're a little late. You're almost a decade behind. They used to say the same thing about being gay, with fucking Queer Eye for the Straight Guy coming out. The whole metrosexual thing. Where a bunch of straight guys were acting queer. Where they act gay, but they're not gay. Quote unquote, whatever it means to be acting gay. Same fucking shit 20, 30 years ago now. It's nothing new. It's just on repeat. More things change, the more they stay the same. More things change, the more they stay the same. Give me a fucking break, man.
Maybe childhood makes you sad sometimes, and there are other solutions besides hand me the dick saw. And look, I'm sure the vast majority of parents do not take this lightly, and that is very hard to know when something is real or just a phase. And I understand being trans is different, it's innate. But kids do also have phases. They're kids, it's all phases. The dinosaur phase, the Hello Kitty phase. One day they want to be an astronaut, the next day you can't get them to leave their room. Gender fluid, kids are fluid about everything. If kids knew what they wanted to be at age 8, the world would be filled with cowboys and princesses.
I can't believe you're saying it's a fucking phase.
I wanted to be a pirate. Thank God nobody took me seriously and scheduled me for eye removal and peg leg surgery.
No one's fucking doing that. It's like fucking talking to a you know, I mean, I know it's talking to a fucking wall. You know, there's nothing real about Bill Maher at this point anymore. It's like Dave Rubin. You know, here's the things you gotta say. Here's the talking points you gotta hit. And that's it. And then people like me have to fucking waste time Or yeah, everyone has to waste time debunking this shit. Because some normie's going to come across this on their HBO or whatever and start thinking it because they don't put much thought into it because they probably don't have to because most people don't have a trans kid. So when they hear this shit, they don't have to look into it any further than this. It's all surface level. A million and a half people. Over 1.5 million people just on this fucking clip alone. Thank you, Bill. I've had the same conversation recently with friends, and they have no idea what I was talking about. Ask me where I got my stats. The trans phenomenon with children is chaos and insanity. No, it's not. Shut up. Stop being stupid. Absolutely fantastic and a breath of fresh air in the absolutely unreal culture we are living in right now. Ah, yes, the unreal culture we're living in right now. Unlike that 2009 culture we were living in, or the 2000 culture, the 1990s culture. I haven't heard that before. Let's see. Ideas which have ostracized me of my own community. I've wanted to write it and speak about the issue myself. No one is being trans for a trend. Don't be an idiot. Single clip needs to be shared over 100 million times. So much respect for Bill right now. Guy's a legend. Fuck off. I love all these people too who are queer themselves. Have this exception for trans people. I'm gay, but I ain't no trans. I don't get it. It's gone too far. He's not though. I just love poking the hive here. I love doing little pokes at the hive. No one wants to be. No one is trans. Alright, poke the hive. Oh my god, anything else on my docket here? I think that's pretty much everything. Alright, as far as things going on right now, I am working on a Sonic the Hedgehog episode for the Crafty Arts channel. I got one more art project I want to do behind that. I'm working on the script to rewrite that. I also got a video filmed that needs to be edited for this channel. It's a little more of a, I'd say, a essay on my own personal experience with some family, relatives who took exception to my current relationship status and how I'm living my life. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, oh shit. Dylan Burns, what are you talking about furries for? Let's check him out.
This is a picture from the Buffalo Shooter's phone. You know, the guy who went into...
All right, we'll do one more segment on him.
Buffalo supermarket.
I want to see his take on it, because I had my take last week. Oh yeah, speaking of which, they figured it out. Speaking of Buffalo shooter, that's right, one last thing. We figured out what was the cause. It's video games. Fox News got it right. It was video games. The violent video games made him a racist, homophobic, well, transphobic, racist piece of shit, and anti-Semitic.
I think of, what must go through the minds of these people, like the guy yesterday who's accused of shooting up that supermarket. He's 18 years old. His whole life was in front of him, and now his life essentially
is
over because of what he decided to do. Do they
because of your
not
fucking network
think
and the ideas
about
it
this
spouts?
before they open fire? Are they so wrapped up in themselves, as you say, so psychopathic that nothing else matters to them?
You'd have to have a conscience to feel that way. And so, no, there's not. It's a blind obsession. It lacks empathy.
Well, yeah, conscience for white people.
It makes them so incredibly dangerous.
I wonder, it seems like these things have gotten so much worse since video games became so realistic.
Yeah, back in the 90s, I could pull up a fucking magazine about that shit. I have a magazine article talking about how violent video games are being put on the burner again for causing violence in children in the 90s. Even though overall, despite these mass shootings, violent crime is actually still overall lower than it was in the early 2000s, than it was in the 90s and 80s and before that.
And so violent.
Go fuck off.
Have you
eat my
done
shit.
research or learned that video games
done research? Can you fucking make a sentence, bitch?
Results of pulling a trigger?
I think in terms of causation, what the information shows us is that as we become more disfranchised, as individuals and groups, people leave a faith, for example, the family units become smaller or more disconnected, we live at further distances, and we're communicating.
He had a family, he had parents, he wasn't living distant.
Through a medium that was never really intended as a human being, which is online or through texting or these kind of things. We get separated as humans to have that connection that builds, I would say, an inner morality. But all of that aside, there's things that we know that if we have areas where we congregate as in groups, we have large retail locations, we have large churches, there's things we can do in anticipation from this anomalous
Shame all the
event,
trans
which
people.
still
That's what
is
we can
rare
do.
in the U.S. even
Ban
though it's
abortion.
increasing. And there's things that we can proactively do to protect ourselves and protect our groups from the vulnerability of somebody like today walking into a place of worship.
Give me a fucking break. I know I say that a lot, but goddamn, man. So many things are just on fucking repeat. They're gonna come for our guns. It's video games. It might be mental health, but we're not gonna do anything about it. Anyways, I've got to see what Dylan Burns has to say about this.
Mowed down and killed 10 unarmed black people because he's a racist loser who is radicalized on the internet by the Great Replacement Theory. Well, apparently, on his phone was
a furry image, therefore he must be a furry.
I'm trying to take this seriously. Was this image of
That's all
Martha
it takes.
Speaks in a compromised position, I'll say.
Not really. It was just her with her tits out. I have the image. Do I have to bring it out?
You can assume what is not on screen. Yes, it is what you think it is.
Yeah, it's tits.
It's not good. It's pretty bad. And
well,
yes,
breasts.
Martha Speaks is a canine. Now, I want to say a few things.
Yes.
Honestly, I just want to say one. This is your Aryan. This is the specimen of the master race. To be completely honest, I don't care what somebody does in the privacy of their own home. I don't care what they do if nobody's getting hurt, right? I don't need to like it. I can think whatever I want to personally think of it. It's not my business. But you can't pretend to be the person slaying and going against like degeneracy in the modern age, and you're
Well, 4chan is full of degeneracy. If you ever go on their fucking porn, it's full of fucking like anime girls getting raped by tentacles and all that good shit. So
you're the representative of the white race taking on the new age of
Hey,
degeneracy,
Heather, welcome.
you know, and trying to save America from the Great Replacement theory, and then have images like this on your phone, which are, for one, and could only be for one purpose, right? For this guy to be a furry is already one thing.
or it could just be a meme that you got from
I don't care,
4chan.
furries are lovely people, you know. I want to say what Trump said about Mexicans, which was gross, disgusting. But I would say that about furries, you know. They're gang members, but some are good people, right?
I could say the rapists.
But
There we go. The thugs, the rapists. Some of them are good people. Some of them are good people.
This is like goes against everything he was talking. He wrote 180
Well,
pages.
that's the key thing too. Like, there's a couple of furries that I've become aware of who are just complete either zoophiles or but yet they're anti-Semitic. It's like they internalize some hatred for themselves rather than just like getting over whatever the hell they are. I mean, you know, whatever your desires are doesn't mean that you're broken beyond repair, or that you have to like act on them. Like, I might have a desire to murder my boss at a job or something like that because I'm really angry. That doesn't mean I'm guilty of murder. So whatever anyone thinks of or fantasizes about is in their own heads. But some people internalize this shame that they have for themselves, whether it's just basic furry bitch or whatever. And then they feel like they have to make up for it. And that's how you get these fucking weirdos who are like, yeah, white race, end the Jews. I don't want to say the line because, you know, I'm a lower end YouTuber. I could just get banned outright. No one would even fucking notice or defend me. So
20 to 28% he did plagiarize, but that means he at least wrote like 120 to 30 pages of a manifesto talking about how he's going to save America.
He wrote 120 pages, I think, of just all the gear he did and what type of gear it was, the helmets, and all this other shit.
And he needs to save the white race and save the Aryans, and he needs to stop the Great Replacement and the Jews and this and that. And then
I want to see where this goes.
He records himself looking at this. He records himself looking at this degeneracy. Man, could you imagine Keffels right now? You turn into my stream to see what I'm doing. I'm just looking at this image. He does this.
Yeah, this image.
This degeneracy. His words, not mine.
Yeah. There we go. We're bringing it up there for everybody.
That quite funny. And for those of you who do not know what Martha Speaks is, I guess I should,
I had to look it up too.
Like Google it for you.
I don't know what it is really.
Martha Speaks was like a meme form. Ugh, God, I got Rick and Morty clips. Martha Speaks.
Don't dog on Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's awesome. Fuck off.
Martha Speaks is a well, it's like a PBS song, a PBS show about this dog that eats alphabet soup and then learns
how to speak.
Has
yes.
Crazy fun adventures for all the children in the neighborhood. It is not actually a show about gratifying somebody's intimate desires. It is just a show about a.
That's what Rule 34 is for.
Can speak because
obviously.
They ate alphabet soup. That's really it. That's all the show is. And somebody made it into a meme format, and that's how it got popular on the internet outside of its show from 2008, right?
Wow, it took a long time to get there. We're at 14 years later.
Reaction
Jesus Christ.
Because this person,
fucking Candace Taylor,
governor,
bitch, you're not going to get elected.
In Georgia, had something to say about the fact that this was on his phone. For me, it's
she's gonna ride that fucking furry thing, isn't she? She's gonna fucking make everyone aware in Georgia about the furry fandom. And one of these days, I swear to God, next time I go to FWA in Georgia, if there's a mass shooting and I get killed, I'm gonna be very fucking pissed.
Funny shows the irony of this person doing what he did, killing all these people.
Oh no, it's her, and I will find a way to haunt you, Candace Taylor. If you're responsible for some mass shooter coming up to FWA and killing me, I will find a way to haunt you. I will haunt the shit out of you. I'll turn your vagina into a fiery hellscape.
All these innocent people to stop degeneracy.
Anyways.
While also looking at images like that and doing what we know he probably did with that image in his spare time. But to Candace Taylor, this is
it's not really my
much
thing.
bigger. This
my tastes are a little more exotic.
Republican candidate running for office in Georgia. It turns out that the Buffalo shooter yesterday was a furry. In my list of executive orders...
All right. In my list of executive orders, I explicitly addressed and received blowback for tackling the perversions of the furry culture. Twisting the minds of Generation Z must end! There, I said it better than he would.
I explicitly... Furry culture. End.
Take it in there for a moment, Dylan. You can do it.
This is Taylor's view of the situation would be that the Buffalo shooter was a furry, and so this is a furry shooting. That the furries did this. The furries were the ones to kill all those people in Buffalo with their furry ideology.
Yes. Yep, I like talking dogs, and in order for that to happen, I must secure the position of the white humans race. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see the connection there with the dots.
What is furry ideology?
There isn't any.
It's like a subculture, right? So like they've probably got beliefs all over the spectrum, I assume.
Yes.
Furries are far more dangerous than white nationalists. It seems that's what... I just don't understand that. It's not
in Candace Taylor's mind, yes. Apparently she's obsessed. She has a hate boner for this.
I know a few hours after, Wendy Rogers was trying to say that the shooter in Buffalo was a Fed because she did not want to actually address the fact that she was one of the people who's been pushing the Great Replacement Theory, and it is the Great Replacement Theory and that radical, dangerous idea that helped push this guy to do a shooting.
Another evil-looking bitch.
3 days after, she had 3 days to think about it, right? At least Wendy Rogers can say she tweeted it out. She didn't think about what she was saying. Yada yada. You can make me cook up that excuse. She had 3 days. 3 days to think about it. And she cooks this up. She tweets this out. She pushes this out. Not tweets it out. I don't know, Facebooks it out into the wild. So, I don't know why I have to explain this. The Buffalo shooter did not kill 10 people in Buffalo and wound 13 in total, but wound 3 others because he's a furry or because of this Martha Speaks image. He did it because he is a white nationalist, a white supremacist, and a fascist.
Yeah, let's not undermine that, please.
On the internet to believe that minorities are the enemy and they're taking over America because of the Great Replacement Theory. There is nothing connecting being a furry or whatever furry ideology would be. I guess it would, I don't know, what's a furry organization? PETA? I guess PETA.
Not even close.
What's furry direct action? Taking like red paint, throwing it, I don't know. Throwing it on fur coats.
Not even close.
That has nothing.
PETA hates furries for the most part.
There's no connection.
And furries tend to hate PETA.
Between being a furry and the shooting in Buffalo. He just happens to be this type of...
I can simplify it better than Dylan here. It's something that, potentially, it's just an aesthetic. You like the type of characters that you see in a movie or a book. You like Lion King, you're a furry fan. That's it. There's no rules. There's no membership card. There's no dues to pay. There's no organization to become a member of. That's it. It's like in Star Trek or, I don't know, Raggedy Ann dolls. If you like to collect Raggedy Ann dolls, you know, you have a Raggedy Ann collection. And it's pretty ironic that it comes from someone like me who's just fucking knee deep in the smut when it comes to furries. So even I recognize it that way. It's not a fucking lifestyle. It's just a taste in entertainment and aesthetics.
Of a furry, which I think is called yiffing. Whatever. And he just happens to be this and has done the shooting. It would be like me saying, you know, the shooter in, I don't know.
Furries aren't dangerous, they're cuties. Yeah, there you go.
The shooting in Timbuktu.
Yeah, we're cuties.
The person watched The Sopranos.
Not as cute as me right now.
The radicalism of The Sopranos. It has nothing to do with The Sopranos. It has nothing to do with that. It probably has to do with the 180-page document that they published which they explicitly stated, I am doing this because I am racist. I am a racist person. That is the motivation of the shooting.
He makes no qualms about it.
He literally wrote out a guide saying, here is every reason why I am doing the shooting, and you decided, nah, it's because he looked at this image of a dog. Nah, it's because he's a furry. It would be like having Mein Kampf, reading all of, you know, the big mustache man's, like, things, and coming away from it and thinking, man, you know why he did it? Because he's a vegan. It's completely unrelated. These two things are completely unrelated. You're just trying to pin this on a subculture to either A, get attention, or B, because you're unbelievably uneducated. This is just like the moms against, like, video game violence, trying to connect every shooting or gangbanging or any of these things to video game violence, or the use
or rap music. I remember rap music was on the line for a bit there too.
In GTA, any of that, right? I mean, the fact I would have preferred somebody blame this on video games. I did.
Someone already did.
To address that in my last video.
Someone already tried that.
But I would have preferred that this was about video games.
No, Candace Taylor has a real boner against furries right now. She really does think that she can ride the wave of this idea that kids are being indoctrinated to be furries and to act like they're cats and dogs in school. Oh man, I hope I can find it. Please tell me I can find it. Please, please, please. Let's see. Furry protocol. Do public schools really have a secret furry protocol? No, they don't. But oh, this is the. Is this the guy?
I'm a little shocked, I guess is what I would put it. It's called something called furries. If you don't know what furries are, it's where school children.
Yeah, there's more than one person using the same story mechanic too here too.
Dress up as animals, cats or dogs, during the school day. They meow and they bark.
They don't.
And they interact with their school, with the teachers and that in this fashion. And now schools
Boost
are
your
wanting
audio.
to put litter boxes in the schools for these children to use.
Can you talk any slower?
How is this sanitary? I'm going to have a discussion with CEO Smith about this. This is something I think, how can schools allow this to happen? I think it's very disruptive within the school system. I think it's very disruptive within the classes. I even heard from one person here recently said that a student identified as a cat and wanted a litter box. And the school didn't provide the litter box, so the student went ahead and defecated on the floor. Really? Really? School administrators, what is going on? Nebraska Department of Education, what is going on? State Board of Education, what is going on? If some kids can't wear American flag to walk through the school on their shirt, and you keep them out of school, and you kick them out of school, but it's okay if they wear a cat costume, and that's fine, and you have a litter box for them, and that's fine.
It's not happening. I love how we've reached the point where we can just make up any story that we want. Like, oh, what's the narrative have to be? Anti-trans people. Okay, we'll come up with that. Let's look at some organizations or some types of people out there. Furries. Oh, okay, we'll use that angle. Anything that's different and strange or weird, we'll use that as the angle. We'll use that as the angle to legislate against trans people, and mainly queer people in general. Are they going to initiate like a ban of furries in public school? No one is dressing up in their fursuit in public school. If you are, I'm so fucking jealous because I don't even have a proper fursuit right now that I can walk around in. And I probably won't for at least another couple years here. Fucking unreal. Let's continue on with this video though. I'm more
to that. At least I'm used to like, well, here's a bunch of studies showing that violent video games does not make children violent and go do these things and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just nothing on furries. At
least I'm used to that. I'm not used to anything like that. I am completely unfamiliar with this with this environment, with this whatever this is. So I will just say for the umpteenth time that I am very confident, and you can write this down. You can write this. I am dedicating myself to this position that furries did not commit the Buffalo shooting, that this was not a furry terror attack, that it had to do with white nationalism. And if you want me to jump to conclusions, this is the conclusion I will jump to. I will say that I think Candace Taylor does not have the facilities or the arguments to combat the real cause of the shooting, which was white nationalism, white supremacy.
She doesn't care.
And the Great Replacement Theory.
Whatever is going to get them enough cheers in the podiums and stuff when they do the speeches. Yeah, fuck your goddamn subscription. That's all I need to do. I like how this one candidate in Georgia is really gonna ride this fucking wave. This idea that furries are somehow invading the schools, and corrupting kids, and she's the moral crusader that's gonna put a stop to it. And amazing.
And so instead has to find another enemy to throw this at, which she can more easily just call degeneracy and then attack that. And this is that. But let's bring this back to a positive point once again and say, Lamau, it's really funny he had this on this phone. Now let's just remember him as the Martha Speaks loser shooter, okay? If we can. If we can. I want to call him the Martha Speaks shooter from now on.
Yeah, I like that.
Sorry to ruin that show for everybody. By the way, I know a lot of you watched this as a kid. I didn't. But he's now the Martha Speaks
I didn't know it existed.
Shooter. Very sorry for other PBS viewers. PBS, please don't sue me.
Here's the next one. Yeah, here's the one I was looking for. I found it. As you heard that other story, right, about someone defecating on the floor because they didn't have litter boxes. Here's another one.
Going on in our schools, according to this, something called furry. And I think it's spelled F-U-R-R-Y. I looked it up on Google here. Oh, I got to...
Don't look up E621.
It's described to me that we have kids in our schools that believe that they are animals. And they are identifying, I'm told, as animals. Believe that.
Let's see, wait, I gotta break this down.
Something going on in our schools, according to this, something called.
According to what? According to this. What's this? Describe this. According to what?
Furry. And I think it's spelled F-U-R-R-Y.
What's this guy doing in the background? Stop biting your nails. It's gross.
Looked it up on Google here. Oh, I gotta get back into my computer.
Or he's like biting his. You put some chapstick on. Okay.
It's described to me that we have kids in our schools that believe that they are animals.
By who? Who's describing this to you? This is the same narrative. This is just they have a certain set of talking points and narrative they're going to repeat ad nauseum until you believe it's true. This is all. This is not for you and me. This is for like normies and shit who don't have time to look into any of this stuff.
And they're identifying, I'm told, as animals. Identifying as animals. They think they're a cat. A cat. They put tails on and they demand that they have a litter box in the school.
No one's doing that. Once again, see, same narrative.
Has anybody else heard that?
Well, I've heard it now. It's almost like you made it up. It's almost like you fucking made it up. Here's the thing. If that was actually going on, this would have been hitting local news for the last 5 years now. Or even within the first week it started happening. I can picture it. A local school has put litter boxes in their school cafeteria for a group of students calling themselves furries. All it would take is just find one.
This furry thing and what... I mean, your district and mine are a long ways away, but I've talked to others here. Tell us what you know about this. I've got the dictionary. It's in the dictionary on Google, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, it's a term that people use. Of course it's going to be in the dictionary. You won't say what district it is, though.
Have you heard about this furry thing and what... Tell us what you know about this. I've got the dictionary. It's in the dictionary on Google, Madam Speaker.
You know what else is in the dictionary? Dipshit. Your face is next to it.
When I heard about this, I heard that they were actually cutting holes.
Heard? What you heard? Who did you hear it from? I mean, that's not, who did you hear it from?
In the uniforms for tails. And then in some cases, the students were putting on fake tails.
You got a location, you got a specific school district, you got a school name, you got a city.
And
anything to nail this down to where it is actually happening?
In some cases, one of the parents was
some cases
responding to what was happening in the school, where a child that believed themselves to be a cat didn't have a physical tail, but had an imaginary tail. And they were sitting at, I think it was a lunch, the table in the lunchroom, and this imaginary tail was there, and a student came up and sat down, and the child that believed themselves to be a cat screamed, "You just sat on my tail." That was imaginary. It didn't exist.
In my district, and I won't even name the school.
Yeah, won't name the school in my district. Which school? It just happens to be some obscure district. School within your district that you won't name. Almost like you want to like deflect any attempts to like nail down where this is actually happening. We're just supposed to take your word for it.
I will say in my district, I had a pastor come to me and he said he is being told that in the one school district, and I'm not saying this is the case, we don't know, it's unconfirmed.
Oh, that's your way out. Say we don't know, it's unconfirmed.
But he is being told by multiple people that there's a litter box in one of the locker rooms, or bathroom, that's my understanding.
Fucking blow my brains out. I can't believe it. Yeah. Let's see if there's any responses to this. No, let's see. Why is it that not one person stands up and shouts, "Shut the fuck up, this is a fabrication, and this is actually happening," and because then they could say we're being censored, and they can say that there's a leftist attack on my speech, and trying to hinder our ability for us officials to say what we need to say. It's not that they believe it. They don't have to believe it. They have a whole line of attack that they're doing right here to distract and take shit away take attention away from important things. Let's see here. Do you find stories of litter boxes in school bathrooms on the internet? Yeah, I would say so. $10 says a dude has a soiled tiger costume in the attic. Oh, that would be rich. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Like he's one of these furries that got ostracized and now he's butthurt over it. He's trying to get revenge. That'd be wild and also not surprising for me at this point. One absurd part about this is they think they pay schools enough to afford litter boxes, cat litter, and subsequently a janitor enough money to justify directly cleaning up after a kid's waste on an hourly basis. Yeah. I've seen schools where they don't have a fucking gym floor that's functional. Let alone a sizable lunch for them to eat that's for free. Maybe that Kate identifies as part tiger. This fucking image. Classic. Yeah, exactly. I heard someone say that they have heard from someone from somewhere. I heard from a guy who heard from this guy who heard from this guy who heard from this guy's cousin. You know what? I think the strategy would be like if someone came at you with this question or this narrative, you pretend you didn't even hear it, and you just go off on something that's more important, like school lunch programs, anti-bullying procedures, anything about this. The only acknowledgement there should be is that that is completely made up and untrue. So let's talk about something that's actually happening, which is so on. That's the best way you could address this. If you're like right there. Ooh, TMNT's trending. Let's see what that's about. Yeah, David Peterson, fucking rock on, man. I love his shit. I got his books. Anyways, that's all I got. That's enough for today. Alright, I'll be on here next week for sure. Tomorrow likely will be doing an art stream on Rotten 8 Creations channel. So as far as that goes, the next major video that I'm working on is for Crafty Arts, for Sonic the Hedgehog, and the WeirdZoRs channel. Got my own video. I had to walk home to get away from such an on explaining my living situation to relatives and my response to that, and how I've gotten quote-unquote screwed up over the years. So, kind of explain as I inception myself here. So with that out of the way, I will be heading out for tonight. Time to eat some din-din, get some drawing done, and then go from there. So, yeah, thanks for coming by, Heather, White Noise, anyone else who's come by to take a gander at what's going on here, clarify what the title is about. I'm Crafty Andy, signing out for today.
This is a picture from the Buffalo